Then welcome into the Pugs and Parker stream, the second of two streams that I, Pugs Moran, how you doing? That I do here each and every day, Monday through Friday, noon, high noon. We do that show. You'll love that. Yeah, you'd love it. If you're unfamiliar, might I extend an invitation to join me Monday through Friday at noon for high noon? It's hot topics, it's current events, it's headlines, it's trends, it's whatever people are talking about. We run them all down. If it's making a headline, if it's trending on one of the socials, if it's what the talking heads are discussing on the news, we go through it. We try to get you all prepped up for the day with all the current events and things that are happening. And I give you a hot take. I say, this is why this is trending, and this is what I think. And then we move on. We do that Monday through Friday. That's just me. That's just me. This one is Pugs and Parker. James Parker joins me, 9 o'clock, more conversational. This one's just an hour. The noon show is sometimes 2 hours-ish. So today it was like an hour and 40, but whatever. I don't know. I have no idea where Parker is. No freaking idea where Parker is. We're already 5 minutes in. So now I got to call him. He's not responding to my texts. Let's see if we can call him. He gave me no indication that he was not going to be available tonight.
Yeah. I'm coming in there. I'm sorry. I was just watching TV with the wife.
You're going to bail at 10:01 like you're always doing, and you're just going to blow off the first 8 minutes of the show?
No, I'm definitely not blowing off.
No, I'm holding you here till 10:08. Come on. What's the matter with you?
Dude, I'll give you double. We'll do 10:16. I'll give you twice as many.
All right, we got good stuff. All right, here he comes. All right, that's James Parker. He's going to be joining us here in a minute. The noon stream and this stream survive by your good graces and your good graces alone. Where's the chat room? Well, nobody's in the chat room. Well, what the fudge, people? How come we've got no chat room action right now? This is a first. Is there something wrong with the chat room? Hold on, let me see. Hi. I'll just put hi just to make sure it works. It's working. Okay. All right, here we go. Everybody pull up your chair. Hi, Ross. Pull up your chair. Come on in. Everybody get comfortable. It's now 8 minutes after the show. Hi, Sharon. All right, everybody's showing up now. That's very good. The show runs on your tips. If you want to help out the show, that's fine. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen, right down there. Why did all of a sudden I became a guy from the south side of Chicago, and I just, the tips are right down there. You can do the Venmos. They got the Cash Apps there. Cash Apps will work as well. Whatever you want to do, throw a little something there. Treat me like I'm your bartender. Treat me like I'm your pizza delivery guy. Whatever it is. Sometimes I fall into my childhood accent, the accent of my youth. I tell you, I love it. I love it. My son loves it. My son loves his grandma's accent. She doesn't think she's got one. She's gonna be all mad. She's gonna hear this. I ain't got no accent. Yeah, you do. You do. If you're around another accent long enough, you start to recognize that, oh, that does sound different. I don't know what I got. I got a little bit of, I've been told by my friends in Chicago that at times, like, I do a fake Texas accent. I'm like, I don't think it's fake, man. I think there are just sometimes some words, that I just, from living here for 20 years, off and on, you pick up things. But yeah, people in Chicago think I sound like I'm from Texas, and people from Texas think I sound like I'm from Chicago. So whatever it is, still waiting on James. Hi, Jen Hernandez. Hi, come on, everybody. Come on in. I see it's building now. The crowd's building. Come on over. I had a busy ass day today. Busy ass day in what we would consider to be the worst day of the year. Pretty crappy day. It's snowing right now. There are flakes. Ladies and gentlemen, James Parker. Hey, James, out there in Bug Tussle Heights, where you live. You don't live in Bug Tussle. You live in the nice part of Bug Tussle, the new development, Bug Tussle Heights. Right. Or is it Bug Tussle Estates? It's Bug Tussle Estates, isn't it?
It's like the Ponderosa is the part I'm on.
Did the snow make its way to you yet? We're looking at snowflakes right now out my window.
No way.
Oh, yeah. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Not like it's gonna stick or anything.
No, it won't. It's not gonna stick. Hell, our pool isn't even covered. You know, it's like our pool's heated. It's not that. It was cold though today. Was it cold out by you?
Yeah, it's deathly cold. It's like 40 degrees.
Oh, deathly cold. All right, that's not exact. What is it right now? Because this will tell us whether or not the snow is going to stick or not.
Well,
Snick, I
let
say
me check the ghost of Steve Jobs here on my phone.
it's 36. 36 right here in Highland Park, Texas.
I've got 43, so you must be right on the edge of a front.
It's moving. It's coming your way. Coming your way.
So about
All right. Got a lot of stuff I want to get into today.
Dude, we better do the damn band cartoons because I'm dying to see that. And I'm also Sharon is already asking a valid question in the comment section. When is mansplaining coming back?
Man, spent all day, like as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by James. We had big meetings there at the offices today. We had a lot of progress made on that. Nothing to announce, but a lot of progress on that. And then we went and we found a space. We're building a new studio for our own independent production. Apparently, this studio isn't. No, this is. I'm going to look. I'm never going to stop doing this. Well, unless some
A contract requires
right,
it.
yeah, something like that. But the noon show, I have no intention of ever stopping doing the noon show. That's like my hobby. I mean, I got to be allowed to do that. That's like me shooting hoops in the driveway. So the noon show will definitely. And look, there's no plan to end any of these things. But yeah, we've got. So Schwartz, my partner in crime, there on the mansplaining show. So me and Lacey today left the offices, the mansplaining offices over there at HMS Tower in beautiful North Dallas, where we work and plot and scheme, and we went over to Schwartz's beautiful palatial offices this afternoon.
The ones
And
over Weston or whatever.
yeah, he's like it's in a strip mall. It's just it's just like a little storefront in a strip mall. He does surgeries.
I was the guy that dropped off Kelly when he did her boobs.
No, I'm kidding. It's a palatial surgical center that he owns, operates, and runs. It's gorgeous.
I mean, is it the same place that it was when I dropped off Kelly?
Walnut Hill and 75. It's right.
No.
It's right next to North Park Mall, right there in like Preston Hollow area.
Nope, that's not where it was. Why do I gotta eat shit?
I don't know. See, just again, sometimes they bite. They seem like our pets. They seem nice, and they encourage us, and they make us feel good. And then once in a while, Will tell you to eat his shit, which it's gonna happen.
Thanks, Will.
So Schwartz has these offices, these surgical offices, where he does his little side hustle. He's a surgeon on the side.
Surgery, right?
Yeah. And dude, it is like walking into the spa at the Bellagio. I mean, it ain't a doctor's office. It is like, it's all white. I told him today, I said, who did your decorating? The set director for Logan's Run? Now that's a joke that only old people will get.
Oh, yeah. Harrison Ford aficionado. So did they have like a cooler of cucumber water over in the corner?
Right? Yeah. So we were sitting in the lobby and he comes out and I go, I'm not going anywhere until I get my mimosa and my cheese plate. Cause it just seemed like that should have been coming. But man, he's got space there. He's got a room that he wants to use for video production for mansplaining type projects that we're working on. It's so cool, man. He's got these like 18-foot floor to ceiling windows with a southern facing view of downtown Dallas. We're going to be doing all of our filming at night. So it's just got this amazing backdrop of like the big green building, the downtown Dallas building with the green outline and all that stuff. It looks good. It's really good.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. How come I'm not a part of any of these meetings? Like I don't have any experience setting up home studios for both audio and video broadcasts. I've done 6 of these at this point.
We've got the amazingly talented Lacey G of the immensely popular Taylor Swift podcast heard on iHeart radio stations around the country. She's the EP. Where were you when we were looking for an EP? You weren't gonna do it.
Be an EP. Look, she is a lot like more successful and connected, but I'm smarter. I know these machines better than she does.
I don't know about that. I don't know what are you making that assumption for? I don't know about that. I mean, you know.
I'm quite
Hey, look,
confident in my knowledge of the tech it takes to pull this crap off.
she was good enough to produce the Kid Craddock shows through some of the more
Oh, she's
successful.
good. She's
Yeah,
good. I'm not
well,
saying no. There's no slight against Lacey.
James,
We
you're
should be on the same team. Damn it.
well, we are sort of. We're on Team Pugs. We're all involved in different projects that I happen to be working on. Jeff Ballard says Lacey G has a sexy voice. Can't wait to talk to her again.
It is not.
She does not. I don't think her voice is sexy. I think she's sexy. I mean, she's an attractive woman, but
Oh,
but
she's retarded hot, and that's the horrible thing about radio is the beautiful girls don't sound beautiful, and then the girls that look like Jabba sound awesome.
I'm actually saying that because I'm hoping that she's listening. I really don't think she's got an ugly voice, but I know that that's the kind of thing that would just irritate her. It would make her
She
mad.
has the voice of when I was in high school, they had the locally produced news, the Bulldog News or whatever the crap it was, and then
Mhm.
they had piped in it was Channel One. It was like Lisa Ling and like a
Yeah.
handful of other pseudo broadcasters that did a show that was I don't know if it was national or piped in on a satellite or how they got it there. But they were really upbeat when they were talking about the news. Like there's a famine in Ethiopia. And if you just send them 70. So
It's kids. You can't be ginning up kids. You can't take the whole Tucker Carlson route with a room full of 10-year-olds. You can't do
right,
that.
but Lacey sounds like she came from that world. Like she's one of these like almost a Disney chick that's
Yeah.
just grown up, and like now that she's in her 30s, she's not a Disney chick anymore. She's like kind of hot, like not to brown nose or anything, but she needs to snap out of that kiddo mode. Like, did you see what Tyga said about China Black? Like, stop that. You don't talk like that when we go to the bar. And I like that, Lacey.
She's got nauseating energy. And most people would say that's a good thing. But for me, yeah, too much energy. Slow down. It's like she's way too upbeat and she's way too optimistic. She needs some tragedy in her life. She needs a little bit of edge to her, I think. We'll work on that. Spend a little bit of time with me, and trust me, she'll know sadness. I want to.
Ask her about her less than successful marriage endeavor.
Yeah, I don't need to go into that. I don't. I don't want to know anything about you people. I just want to know what we share here. I don't get into awkward, weird conversations. Speaking of, yesterday we did a really fun show where James threw out a whole bunch of awkward questions for me. And on that same tip, I wanted to get rolling today. I have an awkward question for you, and it accompanies a story that I'd like to get into with you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take the floor first. We'll jump right in.
Dude, I am dying to see these offensive cartoons.
We're not going to see the offensive cartoons. Every day I plan a show and the offensive cartoons get bumped. You know when I'm going to do the offensive cartoons?
Tomorrow.
One of these days when you go on a bender and miss the show and forget to let me know. Then I'm going to play the offensive cartoons.
But I want to see them, and like I'm trying to intentionally not look them up in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Jeff says, I heard old radio guys talking about especially the overnights. They would hand a picture of a real ugly man and woman to remind the DJs that they might sound hot, but this is how they probably look. That sounds like a move a program director would have done. I can't confirm that, but they used to show it. There was a picture in the program director's desk at 105.3 of a very unflattering guy. This is why I hate commercial radio. It was a very unflattering.
And that was supposed to be our target demo. His name's Richard Lunchbox or whatever.
And he's like obese, and he's divorced, and he's probably
graduated from Richardson in like 98.
Bit of a drinking problem, like anytime I remember Norman Mailer died. All right. Now I was a bit of a fan of Norman Mailer in my college days. And it was at the end of the show and we had just learned that Norman Mailer died. So I talked a little bit about Norman Mailer. 5 minutes at the end of the show while the closing theme is going on. And we walk into the program director's office after the show and he goes, "Do you think this guy knows who Norman Mailer is?" I go, "I don't know. Maybe." Come on, man. So basically we were dumb it down. weren't allowed to, be ourselves. We had to be stupid because they felt the audience was stupid, which is probably why that station's no longer around, right?
Well, listen, I've always been a believer in I can do both. I can do really, really dumb stuff. I can do fart jokes and
Yeah, but you're a smart guy. You're a
voodoo
well-read.
jokes, and yeah, and I can do the other side too. I can break down the nuance of quantum physics or the Byzantine Empire. I don't give a rip. So yeah, we can do both, and we can make jokes about Norman Mailer, even though I have no idea who that is. And we can also
Really? I just said you were well-read. You don't know Norman Mailer.
I don't know Norman. I know Talib Kweli made a reference to Norman Mailer in a song, and I think the Beastie Boys did too.
Yeah, he's a cool writer.
So I know 2 rappers have made reference to him, and he probably has a book I should have read. Like I don't know, like
You know what? I mean, he did what
what's the book? There's like
the entry. He wrote a bunch of books in the '60s and stuff like that. But I would say jump in. A good place to Executioner song is one of my favorite ones. It's a story of Gary Gilmore, the mass murderer up there in Utah, and how he was executed. And it was one of his books. That was a really good one. That's a good entry.
Gary Glitter.
Gary Gilmore. Do you know who Gary?
Not the same thing. Not the same guy.
Not the
Rock
same
and Roll
thing.
Part 1 or 2.
Both disgusting criminals, but no, not the same. One pedophile who I believe died in Taiwan or Thailand.
Vietnam.
Where do you go? No, where do
You
you
go to Thailand first, but Vietnam's a solid backup. And when you put the
Oh,
camera under the piano when you're teaching kiddos lessons, and you hope to get the upskirt pictures of the young girls, they don't look favorably on that in Vietnamese official circles, like in the legal system.
I didn't know that if I had any questions about illicit sex travel, I could go to you. You seem to know about sex tourism. Look
I
at
had to
you.
look this up because I was on this real skeevy radio show back in the day where I did a game called Pick the Pedophile. So I had to research all these guys. And the host of the show thought it was hilarious, though.
Research. Oh, research. That's why you know. Research.
I was on your show, and it was like your idea to pick the pedophile. All I got to do is throw out all the pedophiles. Yes.
Right.
I still have the intro that Dave Stone voiced. I can send it to you.
Pick the pedophile.
Yeah,
God,
you remember that?
did some silly stuff. Yeah, I do remember Pick the Pedophile. That was when you could talk about that. That was before cancel culture. That was before, victim shaming. Or
I know people were before people were all sensitive about sleeping with kids.
All right, so yesterday we did some awkward questions. You had a few for me, and I'm going to start out with.
Oh my God, you're doing this back at me?
No, I'm not doing it back. It's just that it correlates to a story that I want to get into.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I like how I like walking into these things. What you got for me? Let's do this.
So, how do I phrase this? You're 45? You're 45 years old?
I am 45, yes.
Okay. Let's say you were not married. Let's say you were divorced. Oh, God, that'll never happen. Let's just hypothetically.
I can do a hypothetical. It's not a dick.
Hypothetical, you're divorced. Hypothetical, your wife is dead. Hypothetically. All right. I don't even like to put that out there, but since you are.
She would have to be if I'm still here.
You would have to be if you're still here and dating. At your age currently, what is the youngest that you would not date, not even saying publicly, but what is the youngest that you would have sexual relationships with at your age? 45.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about having to explain it to your parents or your friends or anything like that. I'm talking about,
if you smash it, no one would ever know.
Yeah.
All right. So I still stick by the formula for dating, and that's hard and fast. And for anyone who's not familiar with it, you take half of the guy's age and you add 7. And that's the creepy boundary. So anything below that is creepy. Anything above that, it's acceptable.
That's for public consumption. That's for people judging you.
Right. But it's a good marker to start with. So for me at 45, you cut my age in half. I'm like 22, and then you add 7. So 29 is the youngest I could date without it being unacceptable. It's weird if I'm dating a 28-year-old, 29-year-old. That's where it starts to phase into, all right, I mean, maybe they're in love or whatever. Maybe it's just really immature. That's believable. So really, it's hard to go below 29 and admit that I would go below 29. So I know in my head I have to formulate, what if I'm in some sort of scenario where it's Mardi Gras or, some sort of spring break or some sort of,
Let me give you the scenario. Let me give
I'm
you
on a bender, I'm messed
no,
up, I'm at
not
a
even.
party.
Let
Okay.
me give you a scenario, a situation that for our line of work could happen. Okay, you become a popular radio personality, and oh my God, look at you! You're hosting the AVN Awards in Vegas. Yeah, look at you! You're syndicated all over. You're up there, and the starlet of the year. You know what the AVN Awards are? The porn awards.
Porn awards?
Yeah, you're at
Okay.
the porn awards in
Well,
Vegas.
that just rolled off the tip of your tongue.
I'm just coming up with a hypothetical. And it's over and you're partying. There's all kinds of crazy parties that go on after that. Girls running around the hotel topless with their trophies. Look what I won, best blowjob, that kind of thing. They're all very excited. And so there's like a 19-year-old porn star. And it's just gonna happen. You're just all partying. That hypothetical? Do you push that away? Is 19 too young? You're at the porn awards, you're drunk. She's a porn star, man. You've probably seen her. You know what I mean? It's like,
Okay.
this is not a child. This is not an innocent.
I am going to say, I would say no, but that is so easy for me to say here in my home studio, thousands of miles away, completely sober, with my wife in the living room watching crap on Netflix right now.
You're
I,
partying, man. You haven't done illicit drugs in a long time. She's got a little blow. She's like, come on, James, let's go back into my room. Let's go do a bump. And then one thing leads to another. She's 19, but
Right, and when you put it in that situation, because now I've got to think, well, have I ever been in a situation where things just got out of hand and I just smashed whoever was in the room because she was hot without even a real care about, anything deeper than she's hot. And I have been in that situation, and I have been that dirtbag, and I have been single and a guy who, I'm in a drought and things happen, and this girl said yes, and that'll work.
That's a slump buster. Some award-winning porn star. That is, you're in a drought no
How do you
more,
turn
friend.
that down? Right. So I got to think, what if I walk in there on like a 3-month drought, right? Where I haven't had anything in 3 months, where I'm basically just seeing red like an angry bull at all times. And
Do you not jerk off? Why would you get to that point? You gotta release the toxins.
I
Why?
get the poison out, but that's not the same thing. You can't tickle
Okay,
yourself.
continue. All right, go ahead.
So man, I don't know.
Right, so you're not
19,
listening. You're
19's
not gonna
pushing it.
answer.
No, well, no, look, I would like to think I could say no. I would say if she's 21, that's a definitely I would. 19 is pushing it though. And my answer today will be different than my answer in like 5 or 10 years from now, because like I have a daughter who is now getting up into that age, and I can never ever see myself being with someone that's my daughter's age. So when my daughter's 30, if a 30-year-old comes up to me, I'd be like, get the hell away from me.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a different dynamic, you having a daughter and seeing it through a different lens. I don't have a daughter. I don't. So I don't really have the hang up in that regard that you do. All right, look. So here's what I think the answer to the question that I posed you was, and I wanted to see if you would fish around and maybe find it. The answer is 18 years old. That's my limit. 18 years old, but the age doesn't determine whether or not I'm doing it. I mean, 18 that's legal. Okay, anything
No.
under that is bad.
No. You
What?
can have, I'm sorry, Pugs, sorry to interrupt. I believe you could have sex with a 17-year-old in the state of Texas and it would be legal.
Okay, well, not from me. My personal line of okay, I guess we found my personal line of demarcation.
Exactly. That means something.
For coast to coast legal purposes, it would be an 18, an American adult, someone who's considered an adult. But that is not, the age is not the question. This is where this gets tricky for me. It's not the age. It's what age does she look? Because there are 18-year-olds, especially since I gave you the porn scenario, there are 18-year-olds who look like women in their mid-20s. They do not look like 18-year-olds, And then conversely, there are also women in porn who are 30 who are still doing that gross little girl thing with the pig. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not, if you're legal age, you're legal age. But how do you carry yourself? Do you look, are you a banging woman? Do you look like a woman? Because that's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to curves. I don't want no, with all due respect, I don't want any like flat chested, pigtail wearing. I'm just an 18. That's gross. That's freaky. And as we talked about last night, that would get mentally in my head. And I would be, I would not get any power for that. I'd be like, this just feels wrong. But if she's 19 and she looks like, you know what I mean? A full fledged out woman. She's above 5'8", and she's,
and look,
she's a woman.
I know what you're talking about. And I think I had the same trigger that maybe not you had, but a lot of other guys had, that when I went from, sex was always appealing, but it always had this scary side. Like, oh my God, what if she gets pregnant and you have a baby? Then your life is over. But once you meet like your soulmate and the love of your life, pregnancy is not only a bad thing. Like pregnancy is like when you're having sex, not only are you not scared of it, it's like, bitch, I'll get you pregnant. I don't care. You right? So like
Yeah.
sex actually runs its full course. And I don't mean that as something crude. I mean that as something like just the actual purpose of the whole endeavor. And once you engage in that and you take sort of that scary notion out of sex, then my attraction went from, cutesy little girls to moms. I have been
I like milk. I like
and,
milk now.
yeah, and I don't think I think this is going to be something that sticks with me even when I'm 80 years old. I like the women of childbearing age. I like women from 24 to 44, and that's chicks that look like they've already had a chick. I like that look. I like chicks that look like, because boobs look different once they've gone through that process. I like mama boobs.
Yeah.
And I am divorced from the pre childbearing demographic as far as like can you still be hot? Of course you can still be hot. But is that the hottest? Nah, MILFs are the hottest right now.
For me as well. I would say between 30 and 40 is like that's
Well, are
fine.
you familiar with Young Gravy? I know you don't keep up with hip hop, but he's an artist who in his rap songs, he's been talking about how much he loves old ladies and MILFs, and he's into, like the chicks that he name checks are like 40 years old in his songs and stuff. And it turns out that he is dating now. I think he's 26 and he's dating a 42-year-old or 44-year-old. She's like my age, but she's the mother of a YouTube influencer, some YouTube star. So that's her only claim to fame. But Young Gravy, one of the hottest cool rappers who sings better.
I'm familiar with this story. I'm familiar with this story. It's not the Paul's mom, is it? It's not like Jake Paul or Logan Paul. It's not their mom. It's somebody else, though. It is some YouTuber that I've heard of whose mom is dating this hip hop guy, and I can't. Yeah. All right. Also, let me restate something. When I said 18 is my line of demarcation, that was under the hypothetical that no one was going to find out. I'm not taking her out in public. This is not somebody I want to have a relationship with. We were talking about sex. The question specifically was, what is the youngest you would have sex with? And my answer is, well, it depends on how old she looks more so than how old she actually is. But the age has to be over 18 just for legal reasons. But if she's 18 and she looks 28, as a lot of people are, a lot of women are, I mean, that's all right. So what did you just send me here?
Oh, I made a video version of the song that I wrote for the wife. I didn't mean to interrupt what we were talking about now. Maybe we can do that after this.
Okay. So here's the story that I'm leading up to. And the reason that I asked the question that I did, I saw this story today. Here's the headline. Okay. Are you ready? I'm dating a 23-year-old woman. He's 28. So 23, 28, that's fine.
Hang on. How come we're losing April? All right, I'm a head out. Is this really that bad? You can't sit through this? I think we're disgusting people.
I don't think so. I don't
We're
care.
old and gross. We have gray in our beard. No one wants to hear us talk about sex.
You want? Well, this is not about sex. Now this is about see, just stay with me. I'm a freaking professional. I know what I'm doing. The question was a little bit shocking. You're telling me you're not going to stick around to hear what the story is fine. Hey, No problem.
No, look, I can handle it. I'm just not sure if April can handle uncomfortable questions because this is an intentionally uncomfortable segment.
Yeah,
Okay.
we love the
Sorry,
uncomfortable.
April. Sorry.
I love you, April. You're the best. We'll try to. I just wish you'd stick around because I think you'd see that this is an interesting story here and a
Oh,
real
sure.
conversation to have. All right, so here's the headline: 28-year-old guy. I'm dating a 23-year-old woman who looks like an 8-year-old girl, and I'm not a creep.
Oh, I saw that, dude. So this chick is like 4'9", and
3'10".
ew, is it that small?
She's 3'10" and 50 pounds.
So she has some sort of dwarfism, right?
She had a brain issue when she was young, and it stopped her from growing. She is 23 years old. She's got a TV show. She's actually a reality star on what's that channel, that network that just takes people with all kinds of terrible things and makes them,
Yeah,
they got
the
the show
mutant
with the
channel, like the
dwarfs.
600-pound hoarders.
Yeah, fat people, really obese people. Will they find love? I can't watch that stuff's very depressing. Here's the story. A hunky travel blogger has hit back at claims that he's a creep for dating a 23-year-old woman who looks like an 8-year-old girl. Dan Swigert, 26. He's 26. Okay, so the age difference isn't even as great as 28 and 23. It's 23 and 26. They were in high school at the same time. This could totally be okay.
Like TLC.
TLC, yeah, that jacked up channel. That is a channel for just the worst of us.
The bar scene from Star Wars, basically.
Yeah, Moe's can. What is that called?
The cantina at Mos Eisley.
That's it. Dan Swigert, 26 years old, recently began romancing fellow reality star. He's a travel blogger, so he's a reality star travel blog guy.
What an amazing life.
Yeah. Dan Swigert, 26, recently began romancing reality star Shauna Ray, whose growth was stunted due to treatment she received as a child for brain cancer. Ray, who weighs 50 pounds, wow, and is 3 feet 10 inches tall, is the subject of the TLC reality series I Am Shauna Ray. All right, so he wants to make sure that people know that he is not a creep. So I want to show you her. I want to, let's get a look at her, right?
We might just want to cut this segment off because you don't want to hear my thoughts on this.
Let's get the question.
Throw up the picture because everyone needs to see this before they hear the filth that's about to spew out of my head.
All right, they have been warned. Hold on, this junk is.
Isn't there one where they're on like a paddle board?
Yeah, you've seen it.
Living your best life. I've never been on a paddle board. Stupid.
This is all very disturbing to me because I don't care if he says that he's not a creep. He's having sexual relationship with someone who is 3'10", 50 pounds, looks unmistakably like a child. When they're together.
Oh, just stop. Show the picture and then let me say my stupidity and everyone's going to get offended and then we'll talk about what an evil person I am. Right. It'll be fine.
All right. Hold on. Where is she? All right. So here they are together. Here they are. There they are on the paddle boat. That's the one that you got. She looks like she looks like a little girl. And look, she's been through a lot, obviously, and good for her. She's got a reality show. She's been able to find some joy in life. But look at this guy. This guy walking around holding her hand. You would think it's father and daughter. And then they're having romance. My question is, the original awkward question was, I asked James, what's the youngest that he would have? And I said that there isn't really an age demarcation. It's more about how they look. This girl is 23 years old. When she's 43, James, she's going to look this way. When she's 43, I couldn't date this, right? Because go ahead, James, the floor is yours. Take it.
All right. Let me start with the good side of the spectrum. The angel that's on my right shoulder before we get to the devil on my left shoulder. So the angel on my right shoulder, just a full bouquet of optimism. Hey, maybe these two are soulmates and they are meant for each other. And he's not really into that stuff, but he is actually able to overcome her physical weirdness and see through to the real person that she is. And their two souls were meant to be together, whether she was normal size or medium size or tiny size or in a wheelchair or gigantic or whatever. So that's a good time, and that's a possibility, and I really hope that's the case, and I really hope she sees him as, you know, the same thing. This is just the other Tetris piece that completes my puzzle, and I'm sorry that we do not physically match up in a way that's not awkward publicly, but you know, I can't deny what my heart feels. Okay, so that's the best case scenario. Devil on my left shoulder says, women with this condition are a godsend if you're a pedophile. Now you get to fulfill your fantasy
There he goes.
without actually having to damage a kid or do anything bad. This is sort of a best of both worlds, to where, you know, maybe this guy has had an attraction towards children and he's never been able to act on it, and then she comes along and now he's able to have both. He's able to fantasize and get sort of that compulsion satiated that he has his
So
attraction
that's her lot in life.
without
The older,
actually damaging little children and actually having a
so
consenting adult
okay.
participate in
So
this.
you're advocating for the pedophile side of this, but what
Well,
about
I'm
her?
not advocating
So,
for it. I'm just saying that's the
so
evil.
what you're saying is the only acceptable mate that she can have any kind of a romantic relationship with is someone who's a pedophile.
No, that's not definitely not what I'm saying. In fact, I started with the shoulder, the
You're
angel
a
on the right
coward.
shoulder,
That is what.
saying that they were overcoming the
Okay.
weirdness that happens because she's 3'10", just because they're actually legitimately in love and their souls are meant to be together from here spanning time.
Can
But
can we just for a moment, can we address what Jen Hernandez is saying in the chat room? She says, "Oh my God," or she says, "She looks like a mini sorority girl. She looks like an adult, though. Y'all stop. May I direct your attention to the picture that we are looking at? In what universe does that look like an adult? I'm sorry. Jen, I
if
love
she
you,
didn't have the
but
dude next to her, if she didn't have the guy next to her for a size comparison, that could pass as an adult. If you didn't know she was 3'10", because
I
she has
don't
the
see
features and
that
the
at
facial
all.
features and the nose length and the inset eyes and the lack of fat around her face that betrays an adult.
Yeah, I don't see that, man. Maybe she looks 14 or 15, but she does not look like an adult. I'll give you that. I wouldn't think that she's an immature 8-year-old with the baby fat and all of that. She does look like, at best, somebody who's going through puberty. She does not look like an adult. I'm
I
sorry.
always thought it was a good idea to try and steer these guys who have.
She doesn't have genetic issues, Jennifer. This is from brain cancer, from a treatment that well, I guess that would be genetic issues. I guess. Never mind, Jen. I'm sorry.
Well,
Okay.
that's more like developmental issues, because if you get radiation treatment while you're going through puberty, it interrupts your hormones and your growth and your epithelial plates and all that crap. But I've always thought an interesting workaround, if you are the spawn of Satan himself and you happen to be attracted to kids, why not just go for a midget? Why do you actually have to defile a child? And why can't you just sort of, I don't know, blur your eyes, or if you need to wear glasses, just take your glasses off,
Well,
get with the little person and try and make do with that.
well, not being a pedophile, James, but allow me to try and answer that question, because I don't believe that the attraction is simply size or dimension. I think the attraction is the innocence and the vulnerability of being a child. I think that the child's brain, in the childlike way that they behave, is
Yeah,
more of the attraction. Oh no, not here. I'm talking about pedophiles in general. You're
right.
saying if you were a pedophile, why not just date a midget or a dwarf or a little person,
Well,
whatever the
if
acceptable
that
term is.
if that's no, I think you're making a good point. But if that's your case, if that's what's going on inside your head, not you, Pugs, but the alleged pedophile, hypothetically speaking, we're talking about,
Thank you for the
then you
distinction.
should probably jump head first into that wood chipper at the end of Fargo. Remember when they put Steve Buscemi in the wood chipper? You should
Mhm.
just jump head first in that. If you're one of those people, if you need to ruin the innocence of a child,
Yeah,
just go kill yourself. Let's
kill
not
yourself.
try and work with a paddle board or any workarounds or any YouTube starts. Just freaking kill yourself. I can't think of anything more evil than that. Like,
Now now
worse
here's
than
I'm sorry. Here's a depiction of her. She works in a bar. In this depiction, yes, she looks just like a short. You can see she's got an arm tattoo. She
and it is TLC.
yeah, of course.
That is a scumbag channel, isn't it?
Oh man, it's the worst. And they have the audacity. It's supposed to be the learning channel. This channel was begun to educate people. This was supposed to be a nerd educational station, and then they went, "We ain't getting any ratings. Let's just put freak show." Hey, whatever happened to the old carnival freak show? I don't know. Let's do that on TV now, and that's what it is.
Oh man, my 600-pound trans hoarder is their next show.
Yeah. A&E. A&E. Do you know what A&E was? A&E was arts and entertainment.
Right. They had like symphonies when they
In
started.
in 1982, if you put on A&E, yeah, you would get wall-to-wall symphony concerts. And then they got some competition because it turned out that a lot of people like classical music. Not really. But then a new one popped up called Bravo. And Bravo started doing nothing but orchestra and ballet. And live from the Met in New York City, Swan Lake. Now what's Bravo? A bunch of drunk pill popping trophy wives.
Man, we have some listen, we have some really good comments over here. Ross says she needs to find the new age Webster. And I always thought that's great for these people who have sort of growth disorders. If they could find each other, like if she found a Gary Coleman-esque equivalent, wouldn't that be nice if they hooked up? But don't take away my theory so fast about how if for these guys that are attracted to children, maybe this is a good way for them to actually live happy, fulfilling lives without destroying a child. And
I
have
don't like
some.
she can't be limited to relationships only with guys with pedophilia.
Oh no, she's not. It has to be up to her to choose. But you got to admit she would have a pretty enthusiastic partner.
So she chooses another guy who's not into pedophiles. We're going to think he's weird.
I
See
mean,
what I'm
kind
saying?
of.
It's hard
I
for
always thought, look, the cool part about being my wife is that she's married to a guy that damn near fetishizes pale redheads with big boobs, like what she is like. And that must be so nice being someone's like fantasy person, because I'm nobody's fantasy person, right? You're nobody's fantasy person. But she could be. And she could take this thing that has been, I don't want to say like a handicap her whole life, but take a bad hand and really make some hellacious lemonade out of lemons. And then I like this other comment over here. Jeff says, granted, I don't share every night like I should, but I sure picked a good night to share.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. I want to talk about that. I found that story very interesting. I found it I look, the point of the story is that since their relationship went public, he called a creep and a pedo trying to defend himself. And I just don't know that there's any real. I don't know how because I personally would see her, and we could be friends and we could be coworkers, but I do not think I could ever see her sexually. You know what I mean? See her as a sexual animal because she's
no,
right.
I have a hard enough time with grown up flat women. I couldn't. Yeah.
All right, that's all I
got for that.
What do you got? You got something? You got something?
All right. So I had played you like an opening version of the song. I wrote a song for my wife for her birthday. Do you still have the lyrics, just in case anyone has any questions on that? But I sent you a link to the actual video of the song, and this is funny because, man, I wish I had fully developed human emotions, because when I made this video, I don't. But when I made the video, I showed my wife the first time around, and I thought she would just be like, "Oh, that is so sweet. You wrote a song about me, and then you made a video about me, and like, wow, you must really love me." Because all I did is I took videos from that I had saved off my cell phone for like the last 4 years or so, and just kind of strung them together. Just like this for 4 seconds, and then 4 seconds of this, and then 4 seconds of this. And some of them she's playing with the kids. This is me and her at a concert. This is her at the beach. This is her at. So I thought it was cool. She was horrified because there were 4 clips in there out of the 60 something little video segments that it just edits through like a MTV video. There were 4 of them in there where she thought that she looked chubby.
And you of course answered, "I like you chubby."
Yeah, and
Wrong answer. Is that how you answered? That's not how you answered. That is
no,
not.
my answer is like I that's not what I see.
There you
Uh,
go. There you go.
and so like one of them is like she's in the beach, like she's like jumping through the breakers coming in, and she's in a bikini, and she's like, I look so fat.
Mhm.
So I had to revise it and edit it, and then the second video
She's
wasn't
a
good enough
beautiful
either.
woman who's had 10 kids. You know, she's
Ridiculous.
holding together really well.
So now I made a third version of the video, and finally it is now fit for public consumption. So if you're wondering why there's a weird like week and a half gap between me giving you the MP3 and the video version, it's because I had to revise this damn thing. And women, you are way, way too sensitive about your appearance. Just relax.
Am I showing this video?
Yes, I prefer if you did, but also I know that if you play the video through this mechanism, you'll actually get a better audio quality. You'll be able to hear the bass and stuff. Because I went back and watched the video of when we reviewed it last week, and it
It's
sounds
terrible.
like
It
crap.
sounded
Yeah.
terrible. The lyrics were great. All right, here we go. Do I need to share?
You still have the lyrics, or
Can you hear that?
barely? No, that's not right.
That's not right. Okay, well then here, I'll do it this way.
You
All
should
right.
do
I
the
didn't.
share screen. It should be popping up on a screen.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if I needed to do this since you had linked it to me directly. So we'll fix it. We got it right here. There you go. Now you're set.
It. Beautiful.
All right. Here we go.
All the boys say they love you, you're pretty, you're fine. Trying to win your heart all of the time. You think I'm crazy, but baby, just maybe I think that you should be mine. I'd do anything for you, do everything that they wouldn't do. Cause I'm crazier for you than all those dudes. I'd do anything for you. Fly to Jurassic Park to beat a T-Rex ass. Walk through Central City in a jacket made of cash. Steal a chain from Fabulous, now drink a big. Resurrect Lazarus, kick him in his dick. I divide by zero, solve for pi. Be a jukebox hero, lick a lion's eye. Be nice to your mom, eat a lid, cherry bombs. When Pacific in a thong, then I'll tip over wrong. I'll do anything for you, do everything that they wouldn't do. Cause I'm crazier for you than all those dudes. I'd do anything for you, I'd do anything for you. Drown a bag of kids in a vat of yoo-hoo. I'd even drink the water from Amber Shoe. I'd do anything for you. I'd win the Daytona on a 10-speed bike. I'd eat a cereal even Mike doesn't like. I'd let you go first when we play putt-putt. I'd put a honey butter biscuit up your butt. I'd get a bag of Lay's and I need just one. Put Mick Jagger under my thumb. Kill an Archduke and start World War I. Find Ted Nugent and steal all his guns. Anything for you. I do everything that they wouldn't do. Cause I'm crazier for you than all those dudes. I'd do anything for you, I'd do anything for you. Drown a bag of kittens in a vat of yoo-hoo. I even drink the water from Camp Lejeune. I'd do anything for you.
Oh, well, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? James, a little tribute to his wife on her birthday. Dude, he's still. Are you insecure about your ability to do the song? Why is there so many effects on your voice? You can't hear the lyrics. I know what some of the lyrics are, and you know what the lyrics are. So when you were checking that out and going, "That's okay," you understood the lyrics. People need to hear those lyrics. You need to make it a little drier.
Yeah, I can't. I can only do so much. So part of that is a lack of talent on my part, both in the ability to hit the proper notes so the auto tune doesn't wreck it too much, and also in production. Like these things I'm trying to do, I'm not very skilled at. And I know it's like, oh, that's amazing, you can do all that. No, I can do all this. I just can't do it very well.
Oh, that was great. That was great. She still probably wanted something tangible, though. Did you end up getting her something real? A gift?
Shut up.
Sure, you didn't get her anything real. You just got her. Okay. Well, you're lucky that was very good. She might let you slide with that. That was very good. All right. My turn again.
Yes.
I really want to talk about this. Crazy people, James. I don't know if you've taken a look around the world.
Hang on. Are you going to kill me if I go get a refill real quick?
No, I'm going to do that too. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's a good time. All
Well,
right.
yeah,
Folks,
just play
we'll
the
be
song
right back.
again or something. Yeah.
James owes us some time tonight, so don't worry. All right. I beat James back. All right. So, yeah, I wouldn't get too excited, Jeff. I don't know how extended it's going to be. James went out on a limb and promised us 16 extra minutes. So we'll see if we'll get all 16 of those, but he certainly does owe us time. Okay. Crazy people, right? So we live in a time when I'm finding it difficult to I used to think when I saw crazy people shit, and we see a lot of it nowadays, but when we first started seeing crazy people shit, crazy ideas, people who seem to I erred on the side of, well, it's a troll. This person's kidding. There's no way this person is serious. And then it just became so consistent, and there's just so much crazy shit out there. And then, you got the whole QAnon thing, and there's that dude that's walking around, and people think he's JFK Jr. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here? Those two lovely ladies, Diamond and Silk. These provocateurs, the political provocateurs, the two black ladies. I believe they're from North Carolina. They're sisters. One of them died recently. The crazy people stuff. She died of high blood pressure and hypertension, which caused a heart attack at 51, which, that's a very common thing. All right. So she died of that. Her sister is claiming that she died not from the vax, because she didn't get the vax, and that's neither here nor there, but she died from being around people who got the vax. I mean, that's that. So crazy has established a foothold in our everyday society. And you can say almost anything that you want, and there are going to be, at least on social media, sometimes tens, hundreds of thousands of people who will believe what it is that you say. So, James, I want to tell you about something crazy that is going around right now. And I think we all saw it. We all saw, anybody who watched the Buffalo Bill games this past weekend, we saw that Damar Hamlin was there, and he is the emotional spirit of the team, and he had a very serious injury. An injury that I had a very similar one. I suffered a myocardial contusion, which is essentially a bruised heart. Now, his was a little more serious because his heart actually stopped. When I had mine, my heart didn't stop. It just went into like rapid, and then it started having really weird
arrhythmia.
Yes, it had some. And so I went to the emergency room, and they strapped me up, and they're like, okay, you're not having a heart attack, but this is what's happened. You've suffered this. And so his is very serious. He still requires oxygen. He has to have an oxygen tank with him. I don't believe the prognosis is that that's how it's going to be forever, but for right now, while he is healing, these are some of the things. It's a regimen of pills and blood thinners, because you don't want the bruised area of the heart and to clot. That's a real serious problem. So he can't get his heart rate going, meaning he can't climb steps, he can't jog. He's got to take care while his very bruised heart is healing. Okay, so that all makes sense. So one guy, one crazy guy, decided to make a YouTube video, and it has gone viral. And everybody's talking about it. And it was trending last night. It's trending again tonight. James, the conspiracy, the Q type conspiracy surrounding Damar Hamlin is that Damar Hamlin died that day on the field. We all saw it. Now, granted, he died because he got the vax, so that's why he's dead. But we don't need to go into that whole end of it. He died, which I suppose would support a lot of those people who say people are dropping dead. So whatever. So maybe that's the motive for this lie. He died in front of us. We all saw it. But the government is so upset that this happened so publicly that they cloned him because they can do that. And what we saw at the game was actually a clone of Damar Hamlin. And that's why whenever they showed him during the game, now, do you remember seeing him during the game? It was, it's why you couldn't really make out if it was him or not. Now, there was a snowstorm happening, so the camera wasn't really shining into the box all that well. And he wasn't on the front row of the box. He was in the third row, up on that thing. And as is the fashion of the day, he was wearing a hoodie. He had a hoodie up, right? It's Buffalo during a snowstorm. He had a hoodie up and he was wearing sunglasses. And because he had his hoodie up and because he was wearing sunglasses and because the camera that was showing the suite where he was seated was covered in snow and raindrops because of the weather, that was all done on purpose, James, so that we couldn't see that wasn't actually Damar Hamlin. To which my first question is this. Well, apparently they haven't perfected cloning, because if they perfected cloning, it would look just like him and there would be no reason for. So what the hell, man? What are you trying to say?
No, they can't think it was a clone. Maybe they got like a body double or something. Like,
clone. No, this guy said clone. Although, yeah, I mean, it sounds oh, what? You think that's too crazy? Think there's a line?
I've always found there to be a paradox, because as a libertarian, there's a lot of people in libertarian circles who like to glom on to some of these conspiracy theories. And I've always found it to be quite a logical paradox that you think the federal government is so incompetent that it shouldn't be in charge of all these things, which I agree with. It shouldn't be in charge of, like education and healthcare and all that crap. But you think the federal government is competent enough to pull off 9/11 without anyone leaking? Really?
No.
We can't get a Roe v. Wade decision out delayed 3 months without someone leaking it. We would have more concrete evidence. No. You can't have it both ways.
They're not that competent.
No, they're not that competent. And really, if you do think the federal government is really that slick and has that amazing ability to pull off such a complex plan with having to have all kinds of variables all sewed up and no one breaking ranks here. Go to the DMV and that will assuage you of the government's competence.
That's the state government. But yeah, I see your point. They would argue that, well, when we say the federal government, that's not what we mean, because obviously the federal government is a sham for the Illuminati. The Illuminati has just set up these puppet fronts to act as federal, right? That would be their argument. And the Illuminati is all competent. So here's the story. Conspiracy theorists have found a new wild claim to froth over that involves NFL star Damar Hamlin being dead and cloned instead of an inspiring comeback story following his collapse from cardiac arrest during a game earlier this month. Hamlin appeared over the weekend at Highmark Stadium to view the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. In a viral clip, Hamlin can be seen flashing a heart symbol with his hands to the stadium. You know, that thing that the kids
That's
do.
an Illuminati symbol, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Wait, which is which is the one we can't do? Wait, Q. Wait, which? Yeah,
this is the one we can't do.
This is what we can't do.
That's
let's do it and hold it. So
symbol.
James, let's do it and hold it so that people can take screenshots. So
no one's watching this. No one cares. We're not big enough to be a controversy.
No, but 5 years from now, they'll pull the 5 years from now when we're riding high. They'll
yeah. Oh, dude, any other symbols we hear? This is one of the Illuminati symbols. The triangle. Do that.
Triangle.
See? Yeah. And the reason why there's a 33 on Rolling Rock bottles is because the guy's a Mason.
Very good.
Three.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hamlin appeared over the weekend at Highmark Stadium to view the game between the Bills and the Bengals. In a viral clip, Hamlin can be seen flashing a heart symbol with his hands to the stadium. The video.
Oh, did it work? How'd they do?
Yeah, right. Yeah. The video where Hamlin can't be seen clearly has some noted conspiracy theorists on social media arguing that the athlete actually died and has now been replaced by either a clone or a body double. I guess that's for anybody who's not willing to go so far as to
The
believe
government's not capable of pulling this crap off. They had 3 years to build the Obamacare website, and on day one, it signed up 6 people, and that's not an exaggeration. That's the literal number, 6 people. I always thought that was hilarious because SNL made the joke that it signed up 6 people, and that turned out to be true. And I just remember playing that over and over and over and over. The government is stupid. It can't do this, okay? The government just spent like $6 trillion in Afghanistan for 20 years with thousands of Americans dying so they could replace the Taliban with the Taliban. They cannot pull this crap off. They cannot just all of a sudden come up with a clone of what was he, like a strong safety or something?
safety.
Yeah. They can't just pull that off. Are you kidding? If the federal government tried to clone Damar Hamlin, he'd have a third arm growing out of his back. You would know it.
And if anybody could do that, wouldn't you think that Jerry Jones would have the connections to do that before some dude in Buffalo, to be able to clone an athlete? Dak, we wouldn't have had the whole, Dak Prescott missing 7 games or whatever. We just get another Dak Prescott out there. Jerry Jones would be one of the guys that could do that.
Yeah, well, they would be cloning Troy Aikman is who they would be cloning.
Michael Irvin, yeah. Charles Haley.
I don't think they'd be cloning Dak or Cooper Rush or any of these guys.
I don't know. Maybe you'd have to, because you couldn't clone Troy Aikman because you'd have to use Troy Aikman now, and you'd just clone a 60-year-old Troy Aikman.
What? Then screw that. The Troy Aikman clone gets its own social security number, and it's Ralph now. Okay, he's Ralph Aikman. How about that? We're winning some shit. I'm tired. We hadn't even been to a conference championship 30 years. About puke.
All right, I'm done. I got nothing else. You got anything else you want to close on?
When are we doing the damn racist cartoons?
Tomorrow night. We'll do racist cartoons tomorrow night. Also, I had some really cool clips of public fights that I wanted to show. I wanted to watch with you, and then I wanted you and I to see if we agree who the aggressor is and who's the person.
Talk about the guy who grabbed the kid by the neck and
that was one of them. That was absolutely one of them. I wanted to get your
that up tonight.
I want to get your take on that because I actually believe that you and I might be in agreement on that one. I've got another one that concerns a dude who crashed a wedding, drank all their booze, ate all their food, and then banged a bridesmaid in the bathroom. and then the groomsmen just got tired of this guy and they went in the bathroom and tuned him up. And I wanted to watch that. And I wanted to, get into a conversation about who's right, who's wrong here.
Hey, listen, man, if I got run at a buffet and I got to smash a beautiful bridesmaid, I'd take a beating for that.
We could do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow, and we'll do racist cartoons tomorrow. Is that okay? Is that a good enough deal for tomorrow's show?
Man, I don't that feels like cramming almost, and I'm really kind of upset if we don't have Michael Reiner on our show this week because he actually asked to be on our show, and I don't think. Have you done some follow up there? Do I need to be?
I'm not gonna back him. I mean, he knows. I reached out to him. I said, so we'll see. We'll get back. Could we talk about that for a second though? I've been thinking about that. He comes on. And we get a chance to talk to him. Mike Reiner is a legendary radio personality here in Dallas-Fort Worth and elsewhere. As a matter of fact, his name just came up in a conversation with me and my buddy Mitch, who Mitch who runs the big sports talker in Chicago. He's one of my oldest and closest friends, and so he's not just a local guy. I mean, he's known in radio circles. Last night, you're like, if we have him on, I want to do awkward questions. No, man, I want to talk to him. I want to interview him. I want to find.
What do you think he wants to do, though? Do you think
I want to talk about? I'm sure that we could maybe do both. You're right. It would be a pick 'em for him. But I want to talk to him about radio, man. You and I are radio nerds.
He doesn't want to talk about that.
I bet he does. I listen to every single one of his podcasts, and almost every single one of his podcasts is him talking with another radio guy about the business. And I would like to go into some of those stories with, dude, what do you mean he doesn't want to talk about that? We're radio people. We love talking about this shit.
No,
We
and
love talking shop. We
and
love
like
talking about douchebags we worked with, and
and
why
right, but
why the industry sucks now, and all of that stuff.
I just feel like if you're Maynard from Tool, everyone's asked you about music and the band and the
But
business.
not you. What do you put yourself in with all of those lumps, or are you an original interviewer? Do you have interesting perspectives? You're
This
selling
is an
yourself short.
interesting perspective. Asking what's the fattest chick he would sleep with is definitely a question he doesn't get asked at most interviews. Thank you very much. And something that people who are fans of Mike Reiner might be interested in hearing his response to, more so than what do you think Courtney said is going to change?
I think people would like to hear a legitimate, heartfelt, and thoughtful exchange between people who are genuinely interested in one another.
Now, here's the listen. Here's exactly what they want to hear.
There he goes. There he goes. Douche tard. All right, folks, we'll be back tomorrow at noon. High noon. That's just me running through all the trends, topics, hot topics, current events every Monday through Friday. It's a current event show. Join us. Please do. Please come by. And then we do this again at 9 o'clock. Me and Parker. Pugs and Parker at 9 p.m. Central Time. High noon Central Time. The best is yet to come. I got nothing else. I'm out of steam. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon. Bye.
I don't need no 401. I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel far.
All right, I got a second here. I was just going through this. No, Jeff, I have not seen the menu yet. Is that any good? Should I see it? People are buzzing about it. I'm watching Slow Horses on Apple TV. I got 3 more episodes of that. I think I'm gonna knock out the rest of season 2 of Slow Horses today. So I will wait your response. But I'm hearing a lot about the menu. People say they like it. And I read somebody else who went, it's not good. Whatever. Okay, he likes it. All right, Jeff, I'm gonna check it out on your recommendation. Thank you for that. The Menu on Netflix. I also guess I gotta watch that All Quiet on the Western Front. I guess I got to watch that too. I don't like World War I movies. I never saw 1918. I don't know why I don't like World War I movies.
I can smile a little now. Things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.